Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show.
Xavier used to be my boyfriend, then my fiance, and then my husband, so he's my ex-boyfriend.
We decided that we needed to spice this up a little bit.
So in general, in a nutshell, this is about life.
Relationships, dating, red flags, marriage, arguments, how we resolve our arguments. Dealing with your past is a big thing. And that's part of the reason we decided, you know what, maybe let's bring this to a podcast platform and have these conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show. Hey, why am I wearing glasses?
Your future's
My
so
future
bright.
is still bright, guys. It's still bright. Listen, we're excited about this brand new show. It's called Living with My Ex. And the conversation, the theme actually came about. So this is what happened, right? We were at a event, at a conference, right? And we were one of the speakers at the conference. And a good friend of mine, Pastor Wayne, a lot of you guys may know him from Rema North, Pastor Wayne Chef, and his wife Janice. And so we are close friends. We are, so let's say, his friend, ne? We on that
So
tip.
we're just jumping into this. We're not doing introductions, nothing. I'm just asking for a
Now
friend.
we're jumping into it, definitely. And I'm now explaining how we got to the name.
But they don't even know I'm here. I'm just saying.
You're going to jump in now.
No, but
Definitely.
you must say my
Okay,
co-host.
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the other host on the show. my beautiful, lovely, my wife, Anka. Was that too much?
Hi guys.
Did I
like,
overdo it?
Like just tone it down a little bit, but yeah, you got it like somewhere there. But hi guys, I'm Anka Hendricks. Thank you for inviting me to the show also, Xavier.
Thank you to inviting me. You, how can I invite you? You part of the show, right?
Was I not the neg?
You're the other 50% of the show.
True, no, it's 100, not 50.
100, so it's 200% the show. Come on,
Well
let's
done,
do it.
Sonny. But okay.
So we
go
were
on.
on at the conference, and he mentioned something. He's like, my ex-girlfriend, which is obviously his wife. And so when we were talking about what should we call the show, then Anka said, "Oh, remember when he said that? Da, da, da. Don't you think it would be a dope idea to say living with my ex?"
Well, it was between
So-
life with my ex and living with my ex, but life with my ex would suggest an actual ex. So yeah, living with my ex suggests I'm still with this
I'm
person.
living with the person that
Yeah,
used to be my
so-
girlfriend,
Yeah.
and
So
is now my wife,
you mean she is now my wife because I am not a he.
and is now my wife.
All right, I heard he is now my
No,
wife.
no, I don't play that game. So yeah, so that's the whole setup, and that's the theme, and that's kind of the whole point of the show, and why we decided to call it that. But be that as it may, we have shared our story and our kind of our love story so many times, because we share so many platforms, and we're always speaking at events, we're always speaking at different conferences and stuff like that. So we've shared this story many times. Outside of that, we also have a vlog channel called the Hendricks Family, and so on that channel we've also shared our story so many times. And because of that, we kind of felt like, should we share it again? But then we thought, maybe there's people that are watching for the first time that haven't seen any of our vlogs, that haven't seen any of what we've done before on our social media platforms, that that don't know the story. So we decided, look, let's kind of just quickly run through the
Brush
story,
through it,
just
yeah.
kind of, not really, I don't want to say rush to make it sound like we
Brush.
kind of brush through it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Are we not hearing each other today?
I know I don't have earphones on most actually.
Oh, okay. Just
but
asking.
again, thank you so much. We have so many people watching online. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. We've been promoting it on our socials for the past 2 weeks. Well, since last week and this week. We've been promoting it, so we really do want to say thank you to everyone that's been showing love. Thank you to everyone that's been resharing, reposting the poster, the little promo that we've made. It really does mean a lot to us. Please do. And Nicole says, "Good morning, Team Hendricks." Yay! Woohoo! Let's go.
Hi, Nicole.
Please do drop your comments in the comment section. Literally, as you see, the second the comment comes, it's the second we read it. So I know there's a bit of a delay on a live stream, a couple of seconds, but I mean, it's as close as live as possible, right? So for everyone watching on live stream right now, please do drop it in the comment section. I got it open in front of me. Anka's got it open in front of her. If there's questions, if there's comments, if there's something that you agree with, I know there's a lot of you watching that's also been married for a while. There's probably things that you're going to agree with. And
Yeah, and I just want to add on to that the show is not about us knowing it all and, it's set in stone. We basically just want to share our life experiences and what we've experienced in marriage. And what works for us. And our marriage is based on biblical principles. That doesn't mean it's perfect. We're human. We make mistakes, and we want to share those mistakes with you guys so that how do you overcome something? Because we, in the 10 years of being married, we've also come across people who've gone through the same things we've gone through, but have handled it in a much different type of way. And likewise, some of you out there might be out there that might have a different opinion, and that might have worked for you. So share it with us, and we could also maybe just share it on air. So we just wanted to interact with everyone and just share things that really is applicable to us in our everyday lives here in South Africa, or wherever you are, not there in the high celebrity status. We just everyday people.
we just, yeah, so in 2010, right?
Hi, Felicia.
In 2010, hi Felicia. in 2010, I went to go and study in America. Right?
I love the sound effects though.
I was, Clayton is busy there.
He's on it. Why are we holding on?
Because I want to bring my earphones up so I can hear the sound effects. Now, I don't like speaking with earphones, it's annoying. But
now you want to be cool like the cool kids.
I want to hear the sound effects. So I'm studying in America, New Jersey, to be specific. And so this is theology. And I don't know if you remember that. It was like church in the morning, church in the afternoon, church at night. Like this church that we were at.
It was church.
But which I was already used to that because
I
came from that.
No, really, you really
came from I
that.
came from church in the morning, church in the afternoon.
In fact, you are still in there.
I'm still doing church in the morning, church in the afternoon, church at night. So I understood that world very, very well. So we're studying, and it's international program. So you're meeting students from literally all over the world. My roommate was from Slovakia. His name was Thomas. Well, not was, is. He's probably still somewhere in Slovakia. His name is Thomas Strubach. He's from Slovakia. And the language is very like... It's like Russian. It's
Why
like
are you
very
cleaning
harsh.
your throat?
Yeah, that's how the language is, right? And so Thomas is my roommate.
Hi,
upstairs. Upstairs, I got my friend David. Ramos. No, not Ramos. David Ramos was the other guy.
Was the actual speaker.
Was one of the speakers, yeah. What was his name now, though? What is his name? I can't remember.
His name was David. But
His name is David.
I think we can go on with David.
Don't do that. So anyway, David is upstairs. He's from Spain, right? And then different people from on the top floor, there's someone from Congo and from wherever. So
in Cameroon, it's like...
Yeah, it's like
everywhere.
a mixed bag of just people from all over the world, literally all over the world. So I'm going to these classes every single day. And as I come back from these classes, the one day I'm at the class and I'm connecting with the locals now, with the people from the church. There are leaders in the church and all that kind of thing. And they're saying to me, oh, there was a girl here from Africa too. I'm like,
do you know her?
Okay, cool. Do you know her? I'm like...
I shame they said South Africa.
They first said Africa. Then I was like, yes, I'm from South Africa. Then they're like, yeah, she's from South Africa. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's nice.
Why are you exposing my lies here now?
Because Anka went to go tell other people she's from South Africa.
No.
Tell other people your lies.
Let me explain. Wait. Let me explain myself. Right? So a lot of you, like that time, I don't think it's like that now, but that time when we were there, the entire America thought that, or not the entire, most Americans thought that Africa is one big village, right? So I kept on having to explain Namibia, and they kept on saying Namibia, where is that? And I got tired. I really got tired of that.
Did you know South Africa is a bit
because
more
for the
famous,
longest time, they thought I was either Filipino or I was just plain white. And it was like, guys, like I'm African. And they're like, no, Africans don't look like you do. And then I just later on said, look, I'm from South Africa, which is technically not wrong because I was born in 89, and that means by birth I am technically South African. I'm just putting that out there that I wasn't entirely lying. I was just...
You were just stretching the truth a bit. So here's the deal. So Anka says she's from SA, so they obviously ask, oh, do you know her? She's from South Africa, this, that, and that. I'm like, no, I don't, but it's okay. Then a week later or something, then I met people that you used to chill with when you were there. I can't remember the lady's name, but anyway. So I met them, and we went, and they took me out the one night to...
We listened with him.
Yeah, Elizabeth and me. We went out to like a restaurant or whatever. They're like, oh no, there's this girl that was here as well. Her name is Anka. She's also from South Africa. I'm like, oh, this is the second time someone's asking me if I know this person. And then I think there was another time somebody also asked me. So eventually I was like, Ish, let me just go and see who this person is. So I go onto my Facebook, I open it up and I type in your name and I see the picture. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's pretty, she's not that bad. Then
She's not that bad. But he sent a message saying,
she's not too bad. So anyway, so I send a message on the inbox to say, hey, listen, yeah, I'm here at this place. Everyone's asking me if I know you and this, that, and the other. Do you know so and so? Do you know this and that?
Oh, you felt compelled.
I just felt like, you know what? If everyone's plying me now.
But she was alright.
I must ask, ish, they didn't plying me. Yeah. So I asked her, hey, so do you know so and so, so and so and so and so? I'm also from this place and that place. And then so she replied. And she was like, yeah, oh yeah, do you know this and that? And of course the conversation then started. Oh yeah, and I went, yeah, did you go there when you were here? Da, 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 da. And the conversation kicked off from there, right? Needless to say, guys, I had a girlfriend at the time.
I did not know this. You
see, now I'm exposing my long.
Now you're exposing yourself. Now you'd be net expose.
Hey, listen, she also had a boyfriend.
At that time, I didn't. No.
I exposed you back. The exposure, we're exposing each other.
Whoa, sound effects. Whoa. Calm down. At the time when we started speaking, and I think that was in 2010, in the beginning of 2010, if I'm not mistaken. You were there, right? Because I was there in 2008. I did not have a boyfriend at that particular time. And I was still studying in Cape Town at the time. So no, I did not have a boyfriend. But he did have a girlfriend and we did chat, and this was BBM times. So we were
check BBM.
Which means
I had a BlackBerry torch. What did you have?
It's irrelevant. I had a BlackBerry, that's all.
A cheaper one. I had a last number.
How is that relevant?
Doesn't matter now, they stole it out of my car.
They did steal mine as well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We spoke for a while. And then what you did was you told me your girlfriend saw the messages. She wasn't happy. But bear in mind...
No, but that was long after. It was like probably when that was when I came back.
Yeah, that was when you came back. We had been speaking for quite a while.
We did stop talking also.
Yeah,
and we weren't talking like hardcore, like relationship vibe stuff.
No, we weren't. There was nothing funny about it. Also, I didn't really know this guy from a bar of soap. So I was like, you know what? We're just chatting, whatever. I mean, it was BBM. Who didn't chat with everybody on BBM? And then, we started out with Mix It before BBM. It was first Mix It.
Did we have Mix It?
We had Mix It.
Come on now.
And then we went.
What was your Mix It name? Anki Bums.
No.
Wait, guys, type in the chat quickly. What was your Mix It name? Please type in the chat. What was your Mix It name? My Mix It name was XGP. In your life,
never say that. But my Mix It name was.
Guys, type in the chat. What was your Mix It name?
My Mix It name was Sexy Khoga.
That's worse than Anki Bums.
No.
Sexy Khoga. Never, guys, type in the chat. What was your Mix It name? So anyway, then, but my BBM name and my Mix It name was always XGP. And then later on, my car's number plate was XGP. So that's fine. Clayton, what was your Mix It name?
Yeah, it was Anka. You're right, Clayton. It was or Anka or Anka.
Nicole says the Mix It name was Sparkle. Come on now. What did Laverne say?
You guys' meeting was inevitable. Yeah.
No, Laverne, what was your Mix It name? Did you forget?
So yeah,
Bunny Bums. Why do girls always put bums at the end?
I don't know. I didn't have that. I know that back in Namibia, it was all about being sexy, so it was sexy something. But anyway, that's not the point. Moving along swiftly, and then, you texted me and you said to me, your girlfriend at the time, you guys were going through something at the time, but she came across...
we were already on and off.
She came across these messages, she didn't like it, and we immediately stopped talking. That's when I got into a relationship at that point. So now we'd been speaking.
Given the messages weren't like hardcore.
Yeah. So then after that, we stopped talking and I got into a relationship, and then time went by. So by now it's already like just before 2013. We'd been speaking on and off for about a year and stopped speaking. for 2 years almost. Stopped speaking the whole of 2012. And then 2013, my mother kept on asking me, Mara Anka, this pastor's son. I'm like, because in my mind, he's in Joburg, he's in a different country altogether. What is the likelihood that we'll actually meet? Never in a million years did I think I'll ever meet this. And to top it all off, I was raised in a strict home. My father was very strict. And I mean, I didn't even sleep over at like friends, people's houses.
Thank you, Dad, for being so strict.
There was a certain time I had to be in the house, all these type of things. So for me, like never in a million years would I even think my father would even allow me to go visit. So I didn't even really care much about it. And then we stopped talking. I got into a relationship, and then 2013, I was given to head the leadership of the youth in Namibia. And I thought, okay, fine, let me just go on the socials and see what's happening. Maybe I can expose the leadership.
And she saw Zakes.
Then I saw the factory.
The factory.
Then I don't know about snakes, but I saw the factory. So I reached out to this pastor's son, and my mother knew about this pastor's son. So I had reached out to him, and I said to him, look, this is a situation, I want to expose my people, the leadership. We want to plan a trip. And we raised funds. We the irony of it is we raised funds in front of my ex-boyfriends, like their business. We were like selling.
Used him.
No, I didn't. We were selling braai meat. I was genuinely just going to come, bring my people, and then leave again. Then the week that we were supposed to come, our pastor then cancelled the trip. Now, needless to say, somebody was bummed out here. So he calls me so he calls me and he says to me, okay, fine, why don't you come? And I'm like, look, all the funds are tied up and, I can't get it from there because our pastor then was saying,
I don't have money for a flight ticket.
Yeah, and our pastor, because I had put everything in there and they saw it as fundraising, so it must go to the church because they must be accountable and so that I had no say in the matter. Anyway, brother man buys like, what if I buy your ticket? I'm like, whoa, wait, what is this now? And I speak to my father, but at that time my father was very reluctant because I'm going to a different country to people that I don't know. But our pastor had known his father from Fitz days where we used to study. And he's like, no, these are very good people. I know his father. They are very respectable people in the community. And really, it's a safe place to go. And my mother, she looked at me and she's like, Anka, it's at these conferences that people find their husbands. I'm like, the soulmates. I'm like, really? I don't want to be hearing this. I'm not ready to be married because I wasn't thinking of marriage at the time. And my father was very reluctant. He's like, look, I don't want any funny business. You go and you come back. Because I had told him that, because I was still the old school type. I thought conference was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the whole day, and Sunday I'm coming back. And then it wasn't like that.
It kind of was, but...
No, it wasn't. I got you the Thursday and you made me wait at the airport. Now, bearing in mind, I come from Namibia. I've never been in Joburg. And all the stories of Joburg that I've ever heard was everyone gets robbed at every hook and dry. And, it's just such a dangerous place. And you're making me sit at this airport, frek bang, no contact with the outside
Everyone
world.
thought Anka was black. Look at Clayton saying there.
And, yeah.
Because they're like, oh,
that's so true.
She's from Africa. Yours ex got a black man. Then she came, wow, white. Oh, who's this white girl?
And people did ask me, so where are you from? Or people spoke like English. I'll never forget, I was sitting in Xavier's office the one day and one of his friends walked in and he spoke Afrikaans to Xavier and then he did like a translation.
Translated to English to Anka. Meantime, Anka spoke better Afrikaans than him.
And I was just like, yeah. This
He's
is
like,
embarrassing.
Ons kyk wat moet ons doen? Do you know what we must do? My bro, I'm like, bruh, she understands Afrikaans.
Wait, what did Clayton say? He said, yeah, we had 1,000 girls with a mixed name, Sexy Licious.
So yeah, what happened? So you came?
So I came. But guys, I was sitting at the airport. This man locks his car keys in the car because he was at something in Sandton. And I'm waiting at the airport. He's supposed to pick me up at the airport. I'm scared because I'm alone here. I've never traveled alone. Plus, I was already like in a dwal and I'm calling my mother the whole time. No, I'm still safe. Every 5 minutes, I'm still safe because I'm roaming on my Namibian.
Because she heard that South Africa, you're going to get robbed.
You're going to get robbed. Everything is just dangerous out here. And this man rocks up an hour and a half later, bursting through the doors in a shiny suit, my literal knight in shining armor.
Yeah, bride, a silver suit.
Like a silver suit.
And there is silver suit.
A duck silver suit with like white
with white pipes, bruh. That duck, bruh, it was 2013.
Yo, you should have actually inserted that suit picture here. But anyway, so yeah, and that's how it started. And we went off. We literally just jumped into it. From there, we went off we went to Westbury to do the Kofifi FM interview. And you somehow put me on the spot. I was so much He doesn't know
I
me from
picked her up straight from the airport, went straight to the Coffee FM interview, went straight to the Ellos FM interview
and he's
after that.
He's just throwing me in there.
I'm
Yeah,
like, hey bro, we're busy with the press run here. We need to go do this interview, that interview.
You know, I was just thrown into it, and I met the whole team that Thursday evening, and it was a beautiful experience because so many people, and it was the factory, young people, they were busy practicing and whatnot, but they were so inviting, and I was like, yo, I could live here. I could really live here. This is so nice. Because, remember, this is very big for me. I'm being exposed here.
Comes into this duck church now.
Yeah. And then, Friday rolls around, and by the Saturday, we were already talking. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't. And we had kissed at that stage, but nobody had known that we had kissed at that stage.
When did we kiss?
There by Park Station.
Which day was that?
On the Saturday.
Okay.
That was on the Saturday because...
Why are you telling the people that?
What? You said you wanted to be real, now you want to come hide things here. Anyway, moving along swiftly. And Xavier's father comes up to me and he speaks to me and he says to me that, do you want to be part of this family? Because we'd like you to be part of this family. And I think that was it. That was like, welcome. I'm home now. Hello, daddy. Hello, mommy. I'm right here. It was that kind of vibes. And I had to fly out the Sunday, right? And we called my father the Sunday to cancel my ticket to stay a little bit longer. My brother was here at the time, and my father asked me, "But now, what do you want to see that you haven't seen yet? Do you want to complete it?"
Only he wants to know. She was seeing me. So anyway, fast forward. That was in April. Then when did I say to you, I'm coming with my parents to your parents?
A week later. So basically, when he left here, a week later, he called me. He said, "I'm coming to visit. I'd like to meet your parents." He flew over the week later, flew back, and another week later, he was here with his parents.
Then I went with my parents.
Yeah. So this is about 3 weeks after we had initially met.
July, August.
This is still in the beginning of July. This is the beginning of July.
So we only met in person in June.
June 13th.
July, I'm there with my parents.
Yeah. End of July 27th. And when his parents came, this is 3 weeks after we had initially met, they asked for my hand in marriage. His parents came over and then...
So my father sits down, right? And so her father's there. And her father's like super conservative, like old school conservative, right? So he's sitting there. So we're like, we would actually like to... I came here with my parents. I would like to ask your blessing on the marriage and this and this and this.
Hashem, you first ask, like you guys say here, we don't say that in Namibia, but you guys said, huis te vra.
Okay, that means your hand in marriage, must your
no,
blessing.
You say huis te vra, then hand in marriage, which is mean, can my son actually date your daughter?
Yeah, but at that point it was like already past that stage. It was like, now, bro, we want to get married. Wait for a dating. So anyway, that happens. Then that was 2013. In April, so then our father says, so when do you want the wedding? Because we were thinking next year. Our father's like, what?
Yeah. My father took it very hard because I was a daddy's girl and I was very close to my father and I did everything for my father. So it took him off guard, and then also he took it very hard. By the time we got married, my father went into like a slight depression because like really I grew up on my daddy's lap. I did everything with my daddy and I was a daddy's girl like till the end. So that he did take it hard, and I think for the longest time he didn't accept that I was actually a married woman and I had kids.
Yeah, it took him a while to get kind of past that whole mindset. Yeah. But be that as it may, April we got married in Cape Town. Beautiful wedding. I wanted a beach wedding. Anka wanted a vineyard wedding. So she was complaining about the weather on the beach and whatever.
Explain wind and sand.
Yeah, but that's not the reality of the matter. It looks very, very nice. So actually my cousin, she just had a beach wedding like I think a week or couple of weeks ago. And
10 years later,
I think she's watching. That go. Are you watching? Crystal, please say there in the comment section.
First of all, I was 25 at the time. I had this fantasy.
Just tell her how nice the beach wedding was.
10 years later,
I'm still nar.
The pictures of
just the same way you nar for a song I played for at a wedding. That's how nar I am.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute.
Fast forwarding. But anyways,
no.
So
we fast forwarding to that, now that you brought it up, let's deal with that.
So
for a
she
second.
tells me, I want a song from Twilight.
No, I did not say that. Guys, if I have advice, ladies, if I have advice for you, when you want something done and you have to speak to your husband, your partner, to your boyfriend or whatever, do not use this choice of words. Baby, I do not want this. Because believe you me, he's going to give you that you said, I do not want. Say to him straight, this is the song that I want. Because that do not want is nullified in the fact that you actually said want and the actual thing that you do not want. So guys, that is my advice to you. I told him I do not want that Twilight song because by that time, the entire world was Twilight geweest. And I gave him a song of Darren McLean. So now I'm standing there, I'm ready to walk down the aisle. Our guests are sitting. I'm nervous as hell because I can see him. So basically our wedding venue had like this big glass like space in the floor, so you could see into the venue, into the
wine cellar.
So I could see I could see my guests. So I'm so nervous, and at the same time, at that very point, I'm thinking, oh snap, I'm wearing a dress. These people can look up, can they see into my dress? Anyway, that's what's going through your mind during that time. And I'm ready to walk down the aisle and this song plays and I am livid. I'm livid because it's the one song I asked not to play. It's been 10 years later. He has still not apologized.
Yeah, I'll apologize and you apologize for the beach wedding unless we do our 10-year anniversary on the beach.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
we almost married for 10 years, guys. But here's the thing, right? So we get married in Cape Town. Dope. Her parents come down. My parents go down.
Clayty was the DJ.
Yeah, Clayty was the DJ there. That was lekker. And then after that, after the wedding, we went to the next. So the Sunday we flew back to Joburg. And because we had a flight on Monday to Thailand. Hey, Thailand.
This man was very excited.
Hey, bro, I was very excited. In the meantime, when I get there to Thailand, I was now thinking, yeah, bro, we married now. Because remember, we both virgins,
whoa,
and we both waited for this moment.
Wait,
I want to take this moment.
Wait, tell the
and
people
make it last forever.
Tell the people what you did. So prior going into this thing, this man had read books, my guy. He was prepared. He had a whole artillery of things that he was going to execute. And reality.
Plus now, we come now to Thailand now. Okay, sharp now. Hey, now tell, hey, brothers, there's rose petals on the floor, on the bed. They got those towels that made like swans and all this. Hey, bro, it looks nice, man. I have pictures of all that. I wish I found those pictures.
You only took nice pictures, ne?
Yeah. Hey, now comes most now for the night that is most now time for the action.
How did that work out for you, my guy?
I'm like, but I thought now that's gonna must now be lekker and things.
I have a headache.
In the meantime, flop.
Yeah. Needless to say, this man was very disappointed. He had like this fantasy in his brains. But I ken jy miskien dat hy net te veel movies gekyk van hoe die goede werk.
In the meantime, it was a flop. Anyways, so here's the thing, right? We didn't get a chance to date. And did we feel it in that first year of marriage? Like, it was like, hey, maybe we should have dated. But then we both came to the conclusion that if we dated, we probably wouldn't have stayed together.
We wouldn't have married.
Because I would have been like, that's one.
I think we were both untidy in that first. Like, our personalities were just atrocious. Because sometimes I do look very timid, but my mouth, it says other things. Tricky.
So here's the thing, right?
Did you just say that?
If we dated, I would have probably also thought, this one is too cheeky, man. I don't have lust for lust. Wow. So I think the way God figured it out is the way He did it. It was like, okay, now you all must get married. But now here's the problem. Now we in it. And we both come from homes where we don't believe in the D word, right? And we even made that agreement in an arrangement in the beginning of our marriage. We're like, we're not going to mention this thing. We're not going to entertain this thought. We're not going to speak about this thing. And whatever comes, we just have to figure it out. If we're unhappy, it is what it is, bro. We're going to have to just work through it and figure it out. As long as it's not infidelity, as long as it's not physical abuse, as far as, gender-based violence issues and all this kind of nonsense. If it's just we're fighting over toothpaste, we're fighting over toilet paper, we're fighting over socks and shoes in the lounge, we're fighting over food and rubbish, then, bruh, those are things we can sort out. But here's the thing, though. There's these little foxes, right, that spoil the vineyard, and that's what it says in the book of Song of Solomon. These little foxes spoil the vineyard. So sometimes what happens, you allow these small little arguments, fighting about the toothpaste, fighting about the socks, fighting about this, fighting about that. And that argument actually rolls over to you being disrespectful, me then removing my love, and then it causes the death cycle that we always speak about. Now it snowballs. It's like an avalanche effect, right? Or the snowball effect, which it now becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And later on, we're fighting for a week, 2 weeks. We don't even know what we're arguing about. We don't even remember where the fight started. And in the meantime, it was about socks or about food.
Yeah.
There wasn't salt in the this.
And bear in mind, we were both given books to start off our marriage to understand this concept of being loved and being respected.
You think we read those books?
None of us read it. But in Xavier's brains, that if he gets a book, I need to read it so that he can read it vicariously. I
must download the audio.
I didn't know that, because needless to say that our marriage in the first 2 years was atrocious. I'll never forget, and I say this every time, and a lot of you already know this, that I called my mother 4 months into the marriage, and I told her I'm coming home. This is not what I signed up for. I wasn't made for this life. I was made for the soft life. I don't know what this is, but I'm done here. And because the reality set in.
These are my confessions.
Right. And I said to her, I'm coming home. And all she asked me was, is he hitting you? Is he abusing you? And I said, no. Like, why are you asking me this? And then she put down the phone in my ear. She said, don't call me for this rubbish. You chose this life. And she put down the phone in my ear. That is, what you need in your marriage, especially in the beginning. You work out your stuff and you take responsibility for your choices. But the honeymoon happened and reality set in. We argued for 90% of our honeymoon.
Yeah, that wasn't like, we must do a re-honeymoon.
Now we'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now we'll enjoy it. I mean, it's been almost 10 years into our marriage. We're a couple of months shy, a few months shy of our 10th anniversary. But, we were speaking about this the other day, that we've only started enjoying our marriage in the last 3 or something years. Like a good chunk of the years was now you must remember 4 months into the marriage, I'd fallen pregnant. So, our first year we were already pregnant. And then we had 2 years later, we had another baby. I didn't have a job or anything. So there was all of these outside stuff that was just hitting us. I'm in a different country. I'm extremely lonely. My phone got stolen the 2 days before our wedding. And so for a good year, I didn't have contact with my mother then, unless I had to speak on Xavier's phone. And what I think is God orchestrated it in such a way, because I don't think our marriage would have survived had I had contact back home. Because my father was the type, if I told him I have a sore on my toe, he would have boarded a flight and come to fetch me because my toe is sore. My father was like that. So, all of these dynamics, I think God orchestrated it in such a way that, it worked out for us. So we did it like the people in the Bible. We really had a lot of faith. But that doesn't mean it didn't come with its struggles.
Look, it comes with its struggles. But what I do want to encourage people who get married, guys, that first year or two, it is difficult.
It's normal.
It is difficult. And we've counseled couples so many times that gives up on that first year. Isaac, it's not working, brothers, woman, this and this.
And the reality of the matter is you can.
And then I say to the gents, can I be honest with you? And this is why we want to be honest in the show and speak about real things. Because the truth is, people look at us sometimes, they see us on a stage, they see us on social media, they see the lifestyle that we portray. Because remember, Instagram is just a highlight reel.
Loving the life.
Yeah, it's just a highlight reel of your life. I'm not going to post our arguments. I'm not going to post our misunderstandings. I'm not going to post those things. But I am going to post the nice things. And so now you are watching the nice things and you're thinking, yeah, bro, look at those people. They're doing all right. In the meantime, you don't know what's really going on. And that's not just for us. That's for anything. And that even brings us to the topic of how we're following couples celebrity couples and all these kind of things. It's like we see certain things and we want to imitate that or what's the word? Not imitate. Implement or imitate those kind of couples. But then in reality, we don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. And we're going to speak about that before you jump in quick. But the point I'm making is that first year or maybe even year or two, you are trying to figure each other out. You are trying to make sense of it. She liked Aqua Fresh, I liked Colgate. She liked white bread, I like brown bread. She liked white sugar, I like brown sugar. She liked this, I like that. And now we're trying to make sense of it. Now the kids are there. Now there's bills that needs to be paid. Now there's all this. So there's a bunch of things. And what happens is there comes a time where you have to begin to, you find a rhythm and you find a momentum and you find okay, I'll pay this, you pay that. I'll dress the kid, I'll take them to you dress them, I'll take them to school. You do this, I'll do that. And then as you find the momentum start moving, then you'll find a flow. But if you just come in that first year and you're like, this is not working, you didn't even give the thing a chance to breathe. You didn't even give yourself an opportunity to build momentum. And everything in life is like that. Even starting a business, even a marriage, even anything starting a podcast channel. That first year, we have 100 subscribers. We have 2 views. And then as time goes with consistency and momentum and shifting things and changing your mindset on certain things, here you start seeing, okay, there's the growth coming. There's the momentum coming. Now, almost 10 years later, now we can enjoy things that in the beginning I thought like, nah, bruh, if this is what
person, the reality for us is finances is a thing. Because my father used to say, as armoed by die voordeur inloop, dan loop liefde by die agterdeur uit. So there's that argument. Then the kids come in with every single stage that something changes.
There's an adjustment
process. Yeah. And that adjustment process is difficult, is increasingly difficult. So, and nobody on this beautiful earth has it easy. Trust me. You guys are not the only ones. We are not the only ones struggling with certain things. And a lot of that stuff is trivial. A lot of it. But in the moment, it doesn't feel trivial. It feels like this big mountain in front of you. Until you get past it and you look back and you're like,
That wasn't so serious.
So
but
yeah.
I think the whole point is that it's the love and respect issue again. And this is the point we always come back to, because we're fighting about socks, or we're fighting about toothpaste, or we're fighting about whatever it is, the small stupid little thing that we're fighting about. When you look back, it's a stupid thing to be fighting about, but it's not. That isn't the point. That's not the thing we're fighting about. We're fighting actually because I feel disrespected, and you fighting actually because you're feeling unloved. And then that cycle of death starts going into a loop. And that's where the issue is. It's not because of the toothpaste. At some point, it has now nothing to do with there wasn't enough salt in this food that you just cooked now. It has now everything to do with the fact that, but you can't speak to me like that. I must not your child. Yeah, but you must at least also this and this and this. Now the argument moved away from the original issue that it was, and now it moves to a love and respect issue. And I feel like that's where a lot of things. And another thing, guys, don't be scared to go back to counseling. Don't think counseling is for poor people or for crazy people or for people who don't have their lives put together. You don't have your life put together, especially if you're arguing in certain areas, which means you're getting it wrong in that area, which means you need assistance in that area. We're not saying your whole marriage is down the drain. We're not saying you don't know what you're doing in all areas. But in that little area that could spread into the other areas, why don't you realign that little space? Then okay, we're arguing about X. Let's go and sort out X. Because now X starts infecting Y, Z, L, M, N, O, P. And then now we're sitting here on a divorce situation where we could have sorted out this thing in the beginning. And that for me would be a thing. And another big issue that we had to kind of navigate our way through, and I know a lot of couples navigate it, is that comparison thing that happens in the beginning of your marriage. Guys, that thing is death.
Yeah, but so-and-so didn't do it so-and-so. Yeah, but when I was with so-and-so, they called out my name and...
Comparing in different ways, right? Comparing to exes.
Yeah.
And also even comparing to other couples.
Yeah.
But let's deal with comparing to exes.
I think exes was a big one for us. I never really compared to other couples. I couldn't care less what other couples were doing in their relationships, but because we were in our own thing, and that was never really on my mind. But comparing to exes, because you left your ex for a reason. But when you hit with hard times in your new relationship, now all you can remember is the good thing this ex did, and I know that my ex used to love to buy me tackies and stuff, and I know if we had an argument the next day, I knew I went on a shopping spree and these kind of things. And
yeah, by me there's nuts on shopping sprees. Like go argue there. I'm not gonna go take you shopping.
Right. So excuse me, sorry. So there were those dynamics, and I was used to being spoiled. And here is like, we need to sort out this thing. I'll never forget when we were. I had this thing when we were dating that because he was in a different country altogether and we had an argument, I didn't need to speak to you. All I needed to do was drop the call. And then I'll speak to you when I have time to speak to you or time to deal with it. That was how I dealt with it. And I'll never, never, never forget the first night when we got back home. It was literally the day after we got married. We came back to Joburg and we slept that Sunday night and we had an argument. And all he said to me was, yeah, no, take you. Because remember, I'm in a different country. I don't know anybody. I can't go anywhere. I'm freak scared of Joburg.
You can't drop the phone.
So I can't even go outside and be in the streets because like I'm freak scared of Joburg. Everyone gets robbed everywhere. And also his parents aren't across the road. There was nobody. We were literally alone here. And I can't drop the phone. So I can't get away from him. Now we have to sort this out. I'm like, so I went to go sleep in the other room. And he stood there hovering like over the bed, like, why are you sleeping here? What's wrong? Aren't we married? This is the day after we got married. And I was like, really? Do you have no personal space? You know, it was all those dynamics that we had to deal with. And the reality of okay, fine, we are in this. This is not a dating situation. This is not a situation where I don't have to deal with you. Because the reality of the matter is when you do get married to somebody, you become part of them. You have to deal. His issues become my issues become his issues, and we have to deal with it. And needless to say, that year was the worst year I'd ever experienced in my life ever. It was extremely lonely, despite the fact that I was married. Because remember, us as girls, we have this big fantasy in our mind, and we watch a lot of romantic movies, and we think that we're going to be romanced all the time. And sorry, baby, but he's not a romantic. I didn't marry a romantic.
So, you don't have to say sorry. I know.
You know, and I'm an affectionate person. You know, touch is my thing, where touch is not his thing. And so you can imagine all of that coming together. And we had to go back to counseling a couple of times that year. I think your person probably saw us like every month because of, you know, the adjustment, trying to get used to each other, trying to find our feet. But we really had a good support system. And this is why it's important to go back to counseling. And I say this all the time. When we do counseling, I say this all the time, that you go to a doctor every 6 months. Every year you get a yearly checkup or you get your teeth checked out or whatever. Your marriage is the same. If you see, okay, fine, things are not really happening really well, whatever, go see a counselor, see if you guys are still on track, because things creep into your marriage very slowly, and then it builds up to a point where you feel like you have to face this mountain, and it's unnecessary if you could have just dealt with it sooner. And but when I say this, go to a proper Christian counselor. I'm not saying go to some therapist who's going to tell you guys need 3 months apart. That's rubbish advice. You don't need 3 months. 3 months from what? I married you to be in this relationship. You are going to go, if you're going for the 3 month break, I'm going with you.
Yeah, we go together. So my comparison story is that the person I was with, right, before I got with Anka, she was very, very soft and very kind of.
How's that working out for you now?
She understood that submission element and whatever. So if I asked her for something, she just say, okay, yes, no problem, and she'll sort it out. You know that. Now I'm getting married. And just see, the complete opposite. Like literally the complete opposite. I'm getting told nonsense. I'm like, whoa. So now it's a culture shock to me because I'm like, whoa. This is now foreign to me. I don't remember anyone speaking to me. Plus, I'm a leader. I'm running big teams. The person I was with always had this respect. Now I'm here. I'm getting told no. I'm like, wag. I remember every time we had an argument, these were my words, every time we had, ek is nie gewoond vir die nie. I don't understand. This is a world I do not understand. This disrespect and speaking how you want to, I don't understand this world. And that pushed me into comparing, because I was like, yo, bruh, if I was with this other person, she would have never done this. She would have never disrespected. She would have never done this and this. And then that comparison, if you entertain it, and here's the thing with any thought, the problem is you mustn't entertain the thought.
Yep.
When you continue to entertain it, you're going to put yourself in a position where, hey, bro, because now I'm going to start treating her funny because I'm thinking, I anyways don't want to be here. I anyways I don't want to speak to you when you're rude. And then what starts happening is that thing starts drifting. And then next thing you know, you're sitting here with a D word that you didn't want to use. And now
and you're not even really a year into the marriage. And the reality of the matter is that came from me feeling like, there's no spoils here, there's no touch here, there's no love here. And he's feeling there's no respect here. It stems from that. So I'm feeling a certain way. He's feeling a certain way, and now we're coming to clash, but we don't understand each other. And the reality of the matter is, this is we didn't really have time to date, so we had to like
figure it out on the fly.
It was on the job training for us. But a lot of you guys are out there that you guys are dating. I just want to say this, things don't go away. If you're feeling uneasy about something, if you're feeling unloved now, it doesn't go away if you don't sort it out. Marriage amplifies things. It's not a magic potion you add to something and it's whimsical. And for us as women, we like romantic flicks. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us like romantic chick flicks. And we want this, to be romanced, to be asked in a different way, to be proposed in a different way. And
but the way I proposed was now.
Yeah, you did. You did. No one's taking that away from you.
So here's the thing, though.
Despite the fact that we argued on that morning.
Here's the thing. You were arguing with me on my way to me trying to propose. I'm like, just relax. I'm trying. I have a duck ring here in my pocket. You fighting.
You started it. You started it. Wait. Hold up. Let us backtrack. So what happened was, I had taken the bus to Cape Town because we were going to one of his friends' weddings. Now, this friend played a pivotal part in us actually starting our relationship. But anyway, we went to his wedding. So I had slept over by his fiancée, like, at the time. I slept over at her house because I was there like a day or two. His fiancée. Right? So a couple of months earlier, his father had gone to Brazil and bought me this coat. It's a nice chic coat, but it's like pink. Now,
like bright pink.
Yeah, but shame. For a bit of backstory, those of you that know me should know that when I first met Xavier, I had this pink coat. Like, it's the same kind of pink, right? And I loved in this. The minute we got home, I jumped into this coat.
Every time we got home, she put not coat, a gown.
This gown.
A pink gown. And so now the color is exactly the same as this coat. Exactly the same.
Anyway, so now he's at the airport and he's trying to sort things out. So now he's asking me.
And I was already irritated because I was getting lost.
You was getting lost, but you didn't
have
airtime or something in your bank account or whatever.
I didn't have money to buy airtime.
Right. So he's asking me to, and I'm not able to help him. So I'm trying to sort it. Now he's getting irritated because I'm not able to help him.
And
right
I'm
now.
getting lost and I'm stuck and I don't know
now,
where.
Now, bear in mind, I'm already at the venue. I have no dealings with what he's supposed to. He lives in South Africa. He's from here. So he's already now because I'm not able to help him.
But I'm in Cape Town.
That doesn't matter.
And you were the one saying, I used to love you. I know the street and I loved you for long. Yeah. I know Cape Town better than you.
I did.
So now
but I wasn't financially connected in Cape Town. I had Namibia. All my paperwork was Namibian. All my banking stuff was Namibian. How was I supposed to help you? In any case, let me finish my part of the story. So now we rock up to the wedding venue, the church, right? And I had to drive the car because his friend's sister's fiance, or husband rather, is sitting next to me in the car. So I don't know if he was irritated because he didn't know this chap and I'm driving this car because he couldn't drive, so I had to drive, right? And you know what is the first thing this man says to me? Are you not done yet? Why are you wearing your gown? We're about to walk in.
I'm like, must you still go get dressed? Why are you still in your gown?
I was livid. So we walk into this church.
That is funny now. You have to admit. That thing looks like a gown. You must. Bro, you have to be honest. It's the exact same color as that gown.
Anyway.
And all I'm seeing is the top part because you remember in the car the door is closed. So I'm just seeing this part. I'm like, but this woman now still going to change his gown.
Anyway, moving along swiftly. So we walk into this church and I refuse to sit next to him. And he's like, no, we have to. I'm like, so I sat at the back.
She sits in the back row. What pettiness is that?
You told us that you haven't said sorry to me. And you're the one telling me up in here that I don't know how to say sorry. But you, twice now you haven't said sorry to me. I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore.
Anyways, is that a whole story now?
Yeah,
okay,
that's
finish.
the whole story.
Okay. Anyways, here's the truth. The truth. Here's it. Right. So then later on, as our marriage progresses, we get into the whole element of vlogging, daily vlogging, all that. And the main reason we began to do that was because we always felt like a lot of people are getting all their marriage information and the family information from mainstream media, right? Which is movies, the celebrities that we follow on social media, all those elements, right? And those celebrities are not living Christ-like lifestyles, right? And they're not living proper lifestyles. Their marriages are really dear mekaar. So here's the thing. We decided, okay, let's do a vlog channel, show family life, show that as a Christian couple, you can raise a family in a Christian way, and hopefully that will be an inspiration to other marriages and other people maybe watching it, so that there's also positive influence out there, because we can't just sit here and complain, yeah, everyone wants to now be like Kim Kardashian, yeah, everyone wants to now be like Kim and Kanye, everyone wants to be like, what's that other issue that also happened, all these different celebrities anyway. And then now, obviously, the big issue now with the celebrities now is obviously the whole Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith issue. And
yeah, that's
and
big.
They
now.
were the
icon
like
couple.
the poster children, or what to say, the poster couple, to say that this is how
Couple
we do
goals.
marriage in Hollywood and this and that. Needless to say, just to come find out that the whole thing was fake. And the interesting thing is, we were speaking about
BBL. What?
BLM, not Black Lives Matter now.
BBL.
The butt love things.
BBL.
BBL and all that. We were speaking about all those elements, and so I was thinking the other day, butt left, breast left, or breast augmentation, and I just thought to myself, all those things that happens in Hollywood, that's the bum is fake, the boobs is fake, the marriage is fake,
and everyone follows suit.
And I know there's a lot of people in Hollywood that also, like, remember there was one time where somebody algorithm cleaned out someone's Twitter, and they found out that like 3 million or something were bots, which means this person, it was a big celebrity. I think it was, I don't want to mention names because I don't want to mention the wrong person's name, but it was a big celebrity. It was a big singer or something, like a proper A-list singer, and 3 million of their followers were taken away because it was all bots. Then I think I still came home and I told you, yes, so those people are just buying their following and buying their likes and their subs and all those things. So then I realized, so everything is fake here.
Superficial.
And everything is superficial. It's upper level things. But the problem is that it looks nice and it looks entertaining and it looks cool and it looks appealing. Now you go to the church and you see Ansana and Freddy there at the church, and they married for 30 years, and you don't think Ansana and Freddy can teach you anything, because Freddy drives, an old Jetta when he comes to church here that he parks outside. And so Freddy and Ansana is celebrating their 30th marriage anniversary, and the pastor gets up and says, hey, let's give Uncle Freddy and Ansana a round of applause. They married for 30 years. Yeah, we clap hands, we stand. Or 40 years, we clap hands, we stand. Hey, we excited for Uncle Freddy and Ansana. And Uncle Freddy and Ansana looks like two older gentlemen and an older lady. And so we don't find any value. We don't think like they can share anything with us. We don't think they can show us anything, because unfortunately we've been conditioned that the only people we listen to are people who are seemingly successful, people who have this kind of car and they're on this yacht and they do this traveling and they do that. And so those are the people we follow, and those are the people that we look up to, and those are the people we idolize. And in the meantime, we have Uncle Freddy and Ansana right there at our church that's been married for 40 years. And we don't think that there's any value in that. But the truth of the matter is that their marriage is more wholesome. They come to church every Sunday. They tithers. They raise their children respectfully. The one child is a lawyer. The other child is a doctor. The other child is running his own business. There's so much value that we can actually learn from Uncle Freddy and Ansana. But we don't feel that they can teach us anything, because we want to be quiet and we want to follow these celebrities. And what happened to Will and Jada just came out later and showed us that those people are facading here in front of us. They're smiling here and holding each other in public, but in the meantime at home, back at the ranch, things are not as vulnerable as they're making it seem to be. But then you find a good, wholesome Christian family, that older gentleman and an older lady that has raised their children in the house of the Lord, that has raised their children to become somebody successful in life, that has raised their children to achieve in the next generation. And we don't see that there's value in that. So with that said, I want us to change our perspective as to how we see successful marriages, as opposed to idolizing people that are busy with things that we don't know what's really going on back at the ranch.
You know, it's the dawn of the influencer. So a lot of the people now is going on the vanity metric side with people who have so many followers, and these people are making so many videos on TikTok and all of that type of stuff. But those of us that have been vlogging, and those of us that have been on these in these atmospheres, in these circles, we understand that when we set up cameras, we move certain things out of the way. We understand that there's a certain angle. So there's there's this wall. Don't show that you were trying on clothes now and there's shoes and stuff laying there in the back. Don't show those things. We don't show that the kitchen was dirty a second ago. It's like, wait, before you do that, let me just move the spot out of the way, whatever. We move certain things out of the way so that it looks a certain way. People who do these things want you to see what they want you to see. So you don't see the untidy stuff. You don't see the washing, the dirty stuff and all of that. And what I'm saying is that there are people that are doing it right. And there are people that really want to be real with you. But we want to follow the people that has these high, like 70,000 followers on Instagram or whatever, simply because we think that they're doing it right. It doesn't necessarily mean that. So when I say this, have a bit of discernment to say that, okay, fine, this is the principles that I want to apply into my marriage. This is what I want to see in my marriage. Not just the materialistic things, not just the things that, oh, we're going to go on a holiday. I want to go on a holiday. Why is my husband not giving me a holiday? Like, really, is this what marriage is about? No, you have to pay for that holiday and someone needs to make that money. But if he's out making that money, are you receiving the love at home? There's a lot of dynamics to this. And the reality of the matter is we are everyday people. We don't have a filming crew around us. We have to do it ourselves. We have to edit it ourselves. And that takes time. That takes time away from our kids. That takes time away from each other as partners. And will we be able to make the payment for the holiday? Will we be able to make the children's school payments? Those things bring arguments and it turns out ugly. So this is life. This is real life. And this is the things that we deal with. It's real life.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before we round off our conversation, I posted, there's this new app where you can ask people to send you messages anonymously, which means you don't know who the message is coming from. So there's a link that you post onto your Instagram or wherever you post a link. And what then happens is someone can click on it and ask a question anonymously. So I'll be doing that every week, right? And Anka will be doing it as well on our social media platform. So that's Xavier_Hendricks and then Anka_Hendricks on Instagram. So you guys can go check that out. And so when we posted these, what would you like to ask, or what would you like us to mention? One of the viewers actually asked, parents having a say in who I date. Do you want to jump on that?
Yeah. For me, my parents, I dated someone for the longest time, and my mother said to me, he's not the one. He's not the one. See, there's a certain healthy element where your parents have gone through this. They've been living life. They've been making mistakes, and they have learned from their mistakes. So, and most of our parents want the best for us. Well, all of our parents should be wanting the best for us. And a lot of the times, like, no, but I want to experience life. Let me make my own decisions. And needless to say that it was unnecessary to go through that experience, because the reality of the matter is I didn't end up with that person. I married Xavier, who is now my husband. So yes, sometimes I think they see things, they see red flags that we don't see, and they come up from the outside. So a healthy guidance from our parents, I think, is important. However, there is the type that you do get toxic parents that just hover and be a helicopter mom. And it's important to be able to see, okay, fine, maybe my parents are being a little overbearing, but our parents generally want the best for us. So I think it's important that they do have a say in who we date.
I think there's also a conversation that needs to be held there. Have that conversation and there's a conversation with your parents that you need to have, and there's also a discernment in your spirit that you need to have. And also you need to ask yourself the questions. And if your parents are making valid points, like maybe I'm not comfortable with 1, 2, and 3, because your parents have been there and they've also dated before. So they're seeing things that maybe you're not seeing. Remember, especially if you're still in your 20s, it's happy-go-lucky, it's lekker. And your parents are in their late 40s, 50s, and they're seeing stuff that you are not seeing. So have that conversation and say, okay, Daddy, I hear what you're saying, but why? No, baby, there's this, I'm seeing this, he does that, and this escalates, and it becomes this and this. I've been on earth for long, I know this is how it's going to play out. And then also go and see a counselor. And if you go and sit in marriage counseling and say, hey, Pastor, I want to, or whoever your counselor is, I want to take this thing further. Have that, because when we do counseling, we have like a thing that you fill in before, and then it shows all the red flags. If you're seeing that the red flags are like 90-80% of the thing, any counselor or any person that has discernment will be able to tell you this is not going to work, which we've had multiple times. We've had 2 couples that we didn't counsel them, but we were close to them at the time before they got married, and we saw so many red flags. In fact, to the point where I was alone with the guy, I would tell him, bro, I'm not sure this is going to make sense. When Anka was alone with the lady, she would say to her, you guys have a lot of things that you are still not figuring out. I don't know if that's going to work. Needless to say, both of those marriages didn't even last a year. Both of them.
Yeah, it didn't last.
Didn't even last a year. And we saw those red flags coming. And so if you have people that you know you can rely on and depend on, and they can see flags, and your parents can see flags, then you have to heed those warnings.
And, sometimes it's not a matter of we're telling you not to do something, but it's a matter of waiting. Sort out the stuff. And I say this again, I said this earlier, that marriage doesn't take things away. It amplifies things. So if there are red flags and you can't sort it out, think twice, because this thing of marriage is difficult. It's difficult if you come into it proper. It's difficult already if there's no baggage. So imagine if you bring baggage. Imagine if you bring all your red flags into it. I always say this, it's the closest thing to heaven or hell. So when you make a decision, consider all before you actually jump into it. I just want to go through the comments, or would you like to go?
Just quickly, there's another question here, but look, this question is very, very loaded. And I think time is going to catch us to actually deal with this question, but it's very, very loaded. Should you choose someone because they make you happy, or because they can provide for you financially? I think for guys, listen, that question that we just read now, I have it on my inbox here. As I said, I do have it over here. And what I will do is we will start dealing with that one next week, because that one's going to be, because it's not a one-word answer, that it really gets into depth.
It gets into depth because there's 2 dynamics to that situation. Like I said earlier, wanneer armoed by die voordeur inloop, loop die liefde by die agterdeur. But money isn't enough to sustain a marriage. You need more than money to sustain a marriage. Then I just quickly want to read through the comments real quick. Valenti said earlier that a happy marriage is the union of 2 good givers. And this is so true. Marriage
2 good forgivers.
Forgivers.
Yeah.
That is so true. We need to forgive each other, and we need to be able to say sorry to one another and forgive, because believe you me, it helps no marriage to carry grudges along. And then it's not for the faint of heart. And then Nicole Van Heere says, please quickly talk about Christian marriage counselors that does not counsel couples that are not in their church. Oh, that is church politics, really. Xavier, you want to delve into that?
So a lot of churches, so here's the thing, right? So what's the question that counselors that don't want to? So here's the thing, right? Also being a pastor in a church for more than 13 years now, not necessarily that it's church politics, but there's a lot of churches that only does certain things for the actual church members. So like, let's use an example, right? Just for a point of understanding and reference, we have, let's say, 3,500 people in our church, right? We're busy during the week. We have office hours that run all the time. People are coming for counseling. People are coming for whichever challenges, different things, right? All the time. Like probably as we speak now, there's someone in counseling, right? Cool. That's fine. So what begins to happen is that people oftentimes use the church, right, in many different ways. So people don't attend church. And that's always what I say to people. Find yourself a good church and be committed and be active in your church. Because what begins to happen is that you have a strong support structure in that way. Because if you don't do that, it's also, there is an element of unfairness to come to a church and expect them to jump when you say jump, when technically you don't belong to that church, you're not a member of that church, you don't contribute anything towards that church, you're not involved in the church, you're not the usher, you're not helping out in any of the departments. You so it's also a question of your heart as an individual as to walk away from the church and say, you see this church, this and that. Because we've had situations like that where people don't go to church at all. A loved one passes away, then they come here, tail between the legs, pastor, can you do the funeral? We don't know you. We don't know where you're from. We don't know who this person is that passed away. We have no clue, no idea. We don't know. And it's a little bit unfair for you to come and now throw this at our doorstep and click your fingers and expect the pastor must now jump and make things happen. Right? There is an element of unfairness towards that. Given, and listen to this carefully, the church is there for those things. But there's an unequal balance here where you want the church to move when you want them to move, but you don't want to bring your part. And we have it the same with baby dedication. People, when they get pregnant and they have kids, baby dedication is full. The church is full that morning. They dedicate their children. And then a week down the line, they're not members of the church. They don't come to church. Their children are... And we make declarations in that baby dedication moments where we say, I promise to raise my child in the house of the Lord, blah, blah, blah. It's important things. It's not just by the way things. It's important things that we're doing here. It's not just a matter of we saying things because we don't know what to say. The things that we say have meaning behind it. So there's an element of unfairness to expect the church to jump when you're actually not bringing your part.
And also, there's another dynamic of a lot of people, and I'm not saying this is true for everybody, but I know of situations where people, they come here for those services. They want to dedicate their children here. Now, remember that the pastor that needs to dedicate, there's resources and stuff that go into that. He needs to dedicate the child, or he needs to do the marriage, officiate the marriages and stuff. But they attend other churches. They'll go to other bigger churches or different other churches. And then when it comes to those important things, then a specific church must then provide the service. And I think that's again where the element of unfairness is. Commit to one church, and remember that a church is for the people, but the people must also give honor to where honor is due, which means you must come in. There's the element of tithes and offering, and a lot of people they don't believe in giving tithes and offering. But remember, the church must work. That pastor that does the officiating must eat. He has a family. There's the bills that need to be paid. The lights and the water and lights need to be paid. City of Johannesburg doesn't say, oh no, it's fine, God bless. They want their money at the end of the month.
And it's your time. As a pastor, you must now leave your family on a Saturday and come and do someone's funeral.
You must remember there's cleaners that come in. They come clean the building. They come make sure the toilets and stuff are clean. Those people need to be paid. They have families that need to eat. There's a lot of dynamics that go with that. So what I'm saying is that we can't expect, I'm not saying all the churches do this, but there's an element of, we can't expect certain things from a specific church, but we're not bringing our part. I know that our church has done counseling for people who don't.
Our church does do counseling for people who don't necessarily go to our church. We've done endless funerals of people who don't go to our church.
As well as
but there is an element of unfairness.
Yeah, and sometimes you do feel used, but that doesn't mean that we don't do it. I know within COVID, we buried a lot of people that is from other denominations and other churches, because first of all their churches were closed. We could have also said, you're not a member, we can't. But that is not what the heart of Christ is, and we as an organization don't stand for
during COVID we had some 2 funerals a day at church every weekend during the week, and we did it because that's what the church is here for. However, what I do want to point out is that there needs to be a cognizance on your end also that these are people. This is a building that needs to be paid. There's cleaners that must come fix here and come clean here. There's a screen that you want on. There's sound system that you want on. So that means the person that does the sound must now leave what he's doing and come switch it on. The person who must switch on the screens must leave what they're doing and come switch it on. There's an exchange here. And that exchange just goes a lot smoother when you are a member, an active member. And when you hear, hey, I heard so-and-so passed away, guess what? People are more inclined and more driven towards actually wanting to come and be that support, because they will say, yes, see, this person was there for me. This person always served this person. So the way you live your life is also a testament as to how people will respond when you in need. If you're the kind of person, when I phone you switch off your phone, you this and that. Now tomorrow you get stuck. Now I see it's your number. And I'm thinking, this person wasn't going to help me if I had to phone them. But if you're the person like, recently, we have a testimony where people were always there for us. And when they were in a time of need and we were in a position to be able to help them, guess what? There was no second thought about it. We like, these people would have done the same for us. These people are there when we need them. Not to say you do it tit for tat, But that's the first person that comes to
I think
mind
it's
because you're like,
humanly,
I
you're
want to help
inclined.
this person because this is who they are and this is what they represent in my life. And I think that's natural to reason that way. But again, we have done it multiple times. We can do it. We don't have a problem doing it. But that is the challenge. There's an element of unfairness there.
So, guys, we've really run out of time. In fact, we've gone over time. We'd really like to deal with a lot more, and I know there's more questions out there. So, send us the inboxes. Put it out there. You can even send us on our personal platforms or whatever, or you can comment on this video below. We'll put our handles in the description. In the description, so that you guys can just engage with us. And we'd like to deal with topics that everyone is facing out there. As much as we're dealing with certain topics, there's a lot that other people are dealing with. So we'd like to also engage with those ones. From my side, I really had fun today, even though I was so overly exposed. But yeah, there's more weeks to come. So
there's more to come, guys. So next week, please, I'm gonna put this link up again. If there's common stuff that you want us to talk about, drop it in that thing anonymously. Sometimes it's private things that people don't want to say it's coming from them. So that's why we make it anonymous, so we don't know who it is. So the whole thing about should you choose someone because they make you happy or because of money, we're gonna speak about that next week. Biblical rules should govern your relationship. Okay, that was just a comment. And then the age gap. There's a question about age gap. What's the biggest age gap that you would allow?
Oh, that's interesting.
And
when did that come through?
It's the new one that came through this morning. So guys, please, I'm gonna post this thing up throughout the week. Drop your stuff, and then next week on Wednesday when we get in here, we're going to deal with all those. But today was the introduction, so we just kind of wanted to tell how we met, how we got to where we are. And thank you so much to everyone watching. Thank you so much that everyone was interacting and engaging so beautifully. We really 100% appreciate it. We love you guys. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show.
Xavier used to be my boyfriend, then my fiance, and then my husband, so he's my ex-boyfriend.
We decided that we needed to spice this up a little bit.
So in general, in a nutshell, this is about life.
Relationships, dating, red flags, marriage, arguments, how we resolve our arguments. Dealing with your past is a big thing. And that's part of the reason we decided, you know what, maybe let's bring this to a podcast platform and have these conversations